Here's a game, Lord St. Well, let's try d4 again. Let's try knight c3 this time, see what we get. He plays a Slav. The Slav type of defense, just defending that pawn. And preventing bishop, or knight, preventing knight to b5. I could try bishop to g5 anyway. I mean, the bishop to f4 move is what coordinates with the knight to b5, so I switched to bishop g5. I was thinking playing the Jobava attack with bishop f4, but this has turned into something like let's see. Well, it's not quite the Richter Veresov attack because he didn't play the knight to f6. So I guess he's just managed to avoid the whole thing. So I can, well, I got my bishop outside the pawn chain. I can just play normally from here. I can even castle queenside. He's weakened the king side. He has weakened his king side by pushing these pawns forward. And I can develop my pieces to good squares. He can take the bishop pair by taking off that bishop. I guess I can't really stop that. If he goes knight to h5, I could go bishop e5, I guess, and trade it for his bishop. Well, anyway, you get an interesting position here. So, what to do with my knight? If I go knight to f3 and he just pushes that pawn forward, oh, it has this square, I guess. It has the square on e5, or it could come here to d2. Okay, he lined up his bishop like that. His queen with his bishop. It's interesting. Yeah, let's castle queenside and push the h pawn forward. See how he reacts to that. And he got rid of my good bishop in this pawn structure, but my other bishop is outside the pawn chain, so it shouldn't be too bad. Where's his knight going? His knight can hop into b4, so let's stop that. I don't want to have to move the queen again. And he just went there. So the knight can come to e5, the bishop can come to e5. If I play h4 now, he'll probably play g4, right? And where's my knight going? Then the knight goes here, hitting that pawn. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. You can take, be the other way to play it. His king hasn't chosen a side yet, but it looks weird for him to castle king side in this structure, and his queen is in the way of his queenside castling. Yes, we did play there, so let's go here. And let's see, my queen is in the way of the retreat of the knight, so I have to be a little careful here. But let's go about undermining those pawns. He's trying to keep things closed on the king side, which is natural. A natural response, and let's try and open things up a bit. Maybe I'll get the F file. But at some point I may have to move the queen so the knight can retreat to d3 here, because the knight does not have many good retreating squares. Yeah, has almost no squares, so I have to watch. If he moves this knight, it comes with a threat to trap my knight. So I just have to stay alert to that possibility. Okay, what's he thinking about here? Whether to take, he could take. I'll take back with the knight. That gives my knight a home and a good square on g5 potentially, as well as e5. So he just brings a queen out. Okay. So he's not yet not yet threatening to win my knight. I do have a tempo move against his knight. So say knight takes f7, and where does he go? He can take it with the queen or the king, and then I can take his knight over here and just pick up a pawn. And it also weakens his king side some more. Why not? Why not do that? And he has to respond. I'm threatening to take the rook. So it's a double attack. I'm attacking the rook, I'm attacking the knight. And then, since he hasn't castled, maybe I'll just centralize my rook and push the e-pawn forward. Open things up that way. With the bishop out of the way, I can move this pawn to g3, shore up my h-pawn. I've got this passed pawn for the endgame. Yeah, I think this is looking good for white. Okay, there, I took with the queen. So I have to take here. And then we'll see if he's got something in this position. Yeah, he can harass my bishop a little bit. Let's put some pressure on his knight and prepare for rook to the f-file. Let's play g3 first, because I don't want to give up the h-pawn. Okay, so he's hitting the g-pawn. I can throw in bishop takes. I think I will. Then defend the g-pawn in some way. What's the best way to defend? I could play f. He offers a draw. I don't think so. Let's see. I could play e4. Defending with the queen. If he takes, I take with a knight. He's got some pressure here. The knight will also defend on g3. So he's got queen and rook coordinating on this pawn, but I've got queen and rook behind it. And my knight gets an active post if he takes. Okay, what now? Could bring the knight back. He could maybe push another pawn forward. Yeah, he just takes. That's kind of what I was expecting there. So this looks like a pretty good pawn structure for me. Passed pawn over here, which is protected. He's got an isolated pawn. Okay, so he dissolves that immediately, which makes sense. So how do I deal with that? I push on, and then, yeah, actually, maybe I'm losing that pawn. I could play, he's going to saddle me with the isolated pawn. That's not bad. Let's see. So I could play c3. He takes, I have to take with the pawn. It's just a little awkward. Yeah, I don't have the queen check here. Let's see, I could move my knight. And when he takes the pawn, then I have the queen checked. I have a good square to move the knight to. Yeah, maybe here. Let's see, it's getting a little tricky. He could also take with the rook. And but I have knight to I do have knight to e6 there, forking the rook and the queen, or if the rook is here, it forks the rook and the queen. But I have to move my queen with tempo first. So queen here check. He could bring his rook back. Oh, actually he can't. The knight is guarding that square. So rook takes, queen here check. He moves the king, and then knight here is a fork. My queen's unprotected. He could try queen here to pin the knight, but the knight takes the rook, defending my queen. So I think this is looking up for me. Let's see, does he has a check with his queen here along this diagonal. But I don't see that that does a whole lot. I guess at the end I have to be careful. Yes, his knight g3 is a fork of my queen and my rook. That's what his counterplay is. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, so he did take with the rook, so let's check. And how about if I just take the pawn? No, I can't take it, his queen protects it. There's a knight check here, but what does that do? Knight check, rook takes, hitting the queen. Knight check, king moves, I take this pawn, he takes that pawn, forking. Knight here forking, knight there forking, I take the queen, he takes the queen, I take the knight. I guess we can try this one. He might just exchange rooks. He can do that with check. Yeah, tricky position. Interesting tactics on board. So rook takes rook, knight takes pawn. He throws in the queen check, and now he's got the fork. So I need to block with the queen, that means, I guess. Otherwise, knight takes g3 was a unfortunate fork. So he's going to win the g3 pawn, huh? Say queen takes. Oh, he wins the knight. Even better. So queen, rook. What can I do? This is needs protection. This is loose, but don't have any way to get to it right now. Take the knight. I mean, I can take the rook. Too bad. Is there anything here? Queen back defends the pawn. defends the g-pawn. Yeah, so he just trades out. Yeah, so he's a piece up now. And now he's offering the trade, which I can't really refuse, so let's take it. And defend the g-pawn. Activate the rook. Get my king in the game. Let's see. I've got a passed pawn. He's got a passed pawn too, so. Let's see if I can get a draw out of this. Let's see, he's got a rook here. Rook to f3 was looking dangerous, winning the pawn there, basically. But now if he goes to f3, I can take it. So he brings his king in. Just guarding his entry on this side. Yeah, so he pushed the pawn forward. So, yeah, actually, if he brings his king over to this square, that'll be a problem. Let's see. How about if I bring my king around? He's going to just check me. He will just check me. Yeah, I don't know. May not be anything I can do here. But he's got to come up with a plan to break through, so let's see if he does it. Yeah, the check there. A rook there, okay. So my pawns are all safe. I think it's a better strategy for him to bring his king in rather than the rook. So maybe that's what he's doing. He's preparing to bring the king in now. Let's attack that rook. He's got a way to get to that pawn, okay. And also he can bring his king in. So I think this is curtains. It looks like he found a way to break through here. Okay, I'm going to resign. Anyway, that was a good game. And I guess I should have taken the draw, huh? Okay, I'll upload this and do a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.